Hello, my name's Tony McPhillips from Muckle LLP. Today I'll be discussing the challenges facing football clubs who employ staff during the lockdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, and hopefully providing some guidance to you as to where help may be available. These are unprecedented times. The requirement for social distancing has resulted in the effective suspension of many social and leisure activities, including sport. With fixtures and leagues cancelled, football clubs are unable to rely upon their usual sources of income, which may include subscriptions, match fees, and bar receipts. Whilst most clubs will operate through the hard work and dedication of volunteers, some clubs will have employees who they may employ to run the bar, administer the club, or maintain the grounds and facilities. Employment-related costs for those clubs will be some of their most significant overheads during this crisis. For football clubs, like many small businesses, charities, or other organizations, the requirement to continue to pay staff who may be unable to carry out their normal duties at all, or will be carrying out duties in a different way or on a significantly reduced basis, is going to prove to be a huge financial challenge. This was recognized by the government at a very early stage and prompted the introduction of the Job Retention Scheme, sometimes referred to as the Furlough Scheme. You may already be familiar with the Furlough Scheme, but if not, here are the key features. On the 20th of March 2020, the Chancellor announced the scheme under which UK employers would be able to access government support to continue paying their employees through the crisis. Since then, the Furlough Scheme has evolved, with guidance being posted on the gov.uk website on a regular basis. A football club employing staff who are paid through the PAYE system is eligible, as any other employer is, to benefit from the scheme, provided it has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 crisis and lockdown. Initially, the scheme appeared to have a requirement that employees would have to be at risk of being laid off or losing their jobs during the crisis. However, this appears to have been relaxed somewhat, with the employer having to demonstrate that its operation has been adversely affected by the crisis in terms of operation and finance. So what does the scheme do? In short, HMRC will reimburse 80% of the furloughed employees' regular wage costs, up to a cap of £2,500, provided those employees were on the payroll as at the 19th of March 2020. For full-time and part-time salaried employees, it is the employee's actual salary before tax that should be used to calculate the 80%. The government guidance is plentiful and is extremely user-friendly, but please be aware that it is regularly updated. So I would strongly recommend that you register on the gov.uk website to receive the updates online. The furlough scheme is innovative and exceptional. It has been designed to help employers keep their staff in employment until this crisis is over. The scheme has now been extended until the end of June 2020, So if you are thinking of taking advantage of the scheme, please visit the guidance now, or alternatively take advice. The scheme has certain conditions, so you need to be sure that you will be eligible to reclaim the wages paid to employees. It is important also to understand how the claims are administered. Claims will be administered through a portal which opened on the 20th of April 2020. There are other important conditions to note. Firstly, once an employee has been furloughed, then this must be for a minimum of 3 weeks. Secondly, during any period of furlough, the employee cannot work for the club or provide any services to or generate any revenue for the club. Thirdly, the employee is only entitled to 80% of his actual wages. However, the employer can, in certain circumstances, top up the remaining 20% should it deem necessary to do so. There is no obligation to do this, and there is no entitlement on the part of the employee for the shortfall to be made up. As furlough is effectively a variation in terms and conditions of employment, the club should seek the employee's agreement to the varied terms, albeit on a temporary basis. This is best recorded in writing in what is now commonly referred to as the furlough letter. I am conscious that this has been a whistle-stop tour of the job retention scheme, but all the necessary guidance is available from the gov.uk website, and further guidance is also available on the Muckle LLP website, where we have designated FA pages also. Please feel free to visit them. Let's hope that the current emergency is temporary and that the restrictions are lifted sooner rather than later. With that in mind, please take the opportunity now to think about how your club has operated in the past and how it is likely to operate in the future. Start thinking about when the club will return to operations, when the lockdown is lifted, and if there are ways in which you think you will be able to operate more efficiently and effectively. I think one thing is for certain after COVID-19, and that is that the normality in the future will be quite different to the normality we experienced before the pandemic. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and please remember that as a chartered standard club or league, you are entitled to seek free advice from the team at Muckle under the FA Clubs and Leagues helpline. Thank you for listening and keep safe.